Hello, my friends. Okay, it has been a long time coming. I have said forever that I'm gonna make this video and I finally am, so I'm feeling good about myself. I'm kind of kidding, but it's been on my to-do list forever and I'm super excited to share with you guys how I started my online store, and I'm going to try to make it as simple as can be. I don't want this video to take forever, and I want you guys just to pick up on a few key things on what to do if you're really set on starting an online store. I know some of you probably don't even know that I have an online store, but I do. I actually keep it super low-key because as a blogger, it turns out that brands don't like to work with you as much if you are also promoting your own store. They want you to promote their store, not your own store, so that's why I'm kind of low-key about it. I don't really post about it a lot. So starting off, I'm gonna just give a little background. So I'm a blogger. I've been a blogger for I think 3 years now. I've been full-time for a year? Yeah, I think a year and a half. Yay, looks like. Yes, I've been a blogger for a year and a half full time. It's the best thing ever, I love it. I've also started my store a year ago too, and so I think that's been a year and a half as well. And so I kind of like went full time on both of those things about a year ago, and it's been so great. I love what I do, and it's super fun, but it is super complicated, a lot of it, especially if you're not a blogger or influencer and you don't already have a following. And so it can be really hard to start an online store if you don't have a solid following, because those right there, your followers, are people who will buy your clothes. They're dedicated to you, they love you, they buy the links you put on. But if you don't have followers or you're not in Blogger, then it makes it just a little more difficult. So I'm definitely not saying that you shouldn't do it if you're not a blogger or influencer, just saying it's gonna be a little more tough to kind of start that out because you don't have an initial following to follow you to your new page where you're starting your website for your new store or your new Instagram page for your new store. And so it will take a little more work, but if that's what you want, definitely work for it. You know, there's other ways around that. Okay, I feel like I'm being a mom right now, but I just have to say this before I really start getting into the nitty-gritty details of starting a store and all that complicated stuff. It is a very big commitment. Duh, I know, okay, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm just saying, I did not realize when I started how big of a commitment it would be. And honestly, if I would have known that last year, I don't know if I would have done it, especially with the ways blogging's going right now. I just love blogging, and the store is just really hard. And it's a lot of money up front, and it's a lot of money for the wholesale clothes, and it's a lot of money when people aren't buying your clothes and when you're just struggling to break even. Like, it does take a lot of money to get started. Starting an online store isn't for everyone. I would suggest getting an investor if you do not have the money, because most likely you won't be able to afford it yourself, or you'll need your help from your parents or something. But don't just go into, I'm wanting an online store with $2,000 in my pocket, because realistically, probably isn't gonna happen. People don't think about the shipping costs, and they don't think about, you know, employees to ship out the packages, or, you know, you could do that at first, obviously, but they don't think about their clothing and having to sell every single size of the clothing and losing money on things. And so definitely not trying to discourage you guys. Like, that's not what I'm here for. I want to encourage you guys. I want you to chase your dreams. You know, I want you, if you want to do this, like, I want you to do it. I want to give you help. I want to show you how I did it. But I am just saying, if this is something that you are on the edge about, do not do it. Do not do it. Like, I was 100% in on starting an online store, and I was still like, oh my gosh, this is literally so hard. Like, no one tells you this, and no one tells you this, and no one tells you this. And so it's like, I am here to be 100% truthful with you guys on my experience with starting a store and just the little things that people don't tell you, and I want to show you guys all of that. So I am excited for this video to share with you guys just what I've learned, but on the flip side, I also can't share with you guys everything because that would take hours. And also, you know, I think if there is something to say about learning it on your own, you know, you want to be able to say that you did it on your own, and not that like, oh, Nikki taught me everything, you know? Okay, mom's done talking. First thing is wholesalers. Okay, so you want to start a store. First, very obvious, but figure out what price range you want your store to have, what style you want, street style, you know, casual style, I don't know, cheap clothing, high-end. You gotta figure that out, nail it down, because if you do not nail that down, your followers and the people who shop on your store will be so confused with their site and they won't shop there, because if you don't know where you're going, why would anyone follow you and buy your stuff? So nail down exactly what you want for your store. My store, Vis, their motto is trendy but affordable. And so I try to find nice clothing for very cheap, and by doing nice photo shoots and making my site look very clean, I try to present that to my followers as an easy way to buy cheap clothing that is still trendy and affordable. Okay, so you got your idea down, you know what you want your store to be like. Next, you gotta buy the clothes. So, buying wholesale clothing, you need a wholesale license. So you'll buy all your clothing, and typically you're supposed to up the price 100%. So like I said, $20 to $40, $40 to $80, so that you make that profit there. I would do that for most of my clothes in my store. It's not technically a rule that you have to do that. Obviously it's your store, you can do what you want, but you'll make more of a profit if you do it 100%. Some of my clothing, just because I wanted it to be affordable for my buyers, I thought that I could get more sales if I didn't mark it up 100%. So some of my clothes I didn't even mark up 100% because I was more concerned with keeping loyal followers and loyal people to my store, and also really staying true to my store's motto, trendy but affordable. I'm not gonna have some high-end clothing in there and like $100 shirt, you know, if I'm trying to go for trendy and affordable. Like, it just doesn't work like that. So you definitely gotta remember what you set for your store, what we were talking about at the beginning, what you want your store to look like. Make sure that you have those in check when you're buying your wholesale clothing, because that obviously is the star of the show. That's the whole part of your store, and you wanna make sure that even the price points on those are right, or else, you know, you may lose money, people won't buy it, you know, you'll have 20 shirts that, you know, you have nothing to do with. So price ups and wholesale clothing is super important, obviously. Where to buy wholesale clothes? I'm actually not going to disclose where I buy my wholesale clothes from, because I mean, I'm sure you guys can understand. I've looked for about a year now, over multiple sites, late at night, just trying to find the best deal I can, the best clothes I can. And I mean, for me to just give that away, I don't really want to do that. So sorry, you're gonna have to find yourself. Oh my gosh. But I will say, what really helped me was someone told me when I was first starting my online store to go to WWD Magic. And it's a trade show in Las Vegas. I went when I was first starting my online store, and seriously, you guys, best thing ever. They have 3,000 brands there. You can go through, you can walk through the trade show day by day, looking at all the clothing, looking at the price points, seeing, you know, feeling it, trying it on. It's perfect. It's kind of hard to order wholesale clothes online, which is a lot what I did, but I don't live in LA, you know, so there's not a lot of places in Seattle to go and buy wholesale clothing from, so I really didn't have a big choice, but I did find some of my brands at Magic, and it was great, and I would definitely recommend it if you're looking for wholesale brands. So, I feel like I'm going so fast. I'll try to slow down. Okay, next, your website. I would suggest using Squarespace Commerce. That's what I use for Vis. It is so easy. I literally don't know how I would do it without Squarespace Commerce. It keeps track of everything for you. It tells you how many SKUs you have, like how many different numbers of clothing you have. It makes it so easy to put stuff on sale and to make announcements and to just even organize your store website. And when it comes to shipping and, you know, if someone buys a piece of clothing, how are you gonna make sure that it's the right number in the system so that you don't sell something you don't have? Or it makes it so easy. You have to use Squarespace Commerce, or at least check it out. I've heard good things about like Shopify too. I actually didn't like Shopify, but I love Squarespace Commerce, So for your website, obviously, you know, you have your idea what you want it to look like. Squarespace is super clean and like minimal, and so I like that because that kind of goes along with my guidelines. And also it's super easy to edit on Squarespace, which is what I was saying. And so just, I mean, whatever way you want it to look like, I'm sure Squarespace has a bunch of different templates that you can basically copy when you're making your website, so that's super nice. Yeah, and even when you're putting in your products and when you have to ship it out for someone, even thinking of like the tax that has to go into that based on where different people live, like it figures it out for you. And Squarespace actually uses a system called ShipStation, and I would definitely recommend that. Even if you're not using Squarespace, I think you can still link up to ShipStation. You have to pay for it, but it helps you with the taxes and the labels for your shipping, when you're shipping out your clothes or whatever you're selling. ShipStation is very important and does all the work for you, so that's very, very nice. Okay, and then also, sorry, I wrote down notes and I'm trying to see what I wrote down. A place to shoot that matches this, oh yeah, okay. I could go into so much more detail, but honestly, you guys don't really have to hear anything more about the website. Squarespace Commerce, if you use that, it'll like teach you step by step how to use it. You can even Google things on Squarespace. They're super good about having answered questions online. I've done it so many times for my blog and for Vis's website. So that's great. And then ShipStation, as I was saying, so good. Please use it. You won't regret it. Next is marketing. And you guys may think this is, you know, not as important as, you know, how to put together my website, but trust me, it's way more important, I swear. Well, actually, maybe not way more important, but super important. Marketing. Use your tools. Okay, use Facebook. I don't know about Twitter. I'm not a big Twitter fan. Use Instagram for sure. You can even switch to a business profile on Instagram, and I think you can put like, you know, those shopping tabs on your pictures, and that's what I did for a lot for Vis. And so people can just click on it and directly go to your website and buy it. It's super easy. As far as marketing, use bloggers. They are the cheapest form of advertising. When I was a younger blogger, I'm dead. When I was from like, I'm trying to think, when I first started out to like 10 or 15,000 followers, I would do so many collabs for free just because I wanted to get my name out there. I wanted to grow, you know, I wanted to work with as many stores as I could. And so use that, like it's not bad. If you're starting a clothing store, reach out to bloggers. I would say from anywhere from like 1,000 or maybe like 3,000 to 15,000 or even 20,000 or higher. Like some bloggers will still do it for free if they need free clothing, but reach out to them because that is free marketing for you for their like 20,000 followers. You're not paying them anything besides maybe a $20 shirt. And so literally that is the best thing I am convinced that you can do. Send bloggers a ton of clothing. If they say they'll post it, like send it to them. It's the best thing that I think you can do. Don't do Instagram ads, please. They do not help. I swear they don't help. And I feel like even when I've done Instagram ads, like they didn't even market towards the people that I was trying to go for. Like, I don't know. I just don't think they work. You can argue with me on that, but that's just like my opinion. And as far as your Instagram page, I would either, I wouldn't say you have to hire someone unless you have really bad taste. Then maybe hire someone for your Instagram page and make it look super nice, have all the aesthetics going. For shooting, you know, go to a venue or go somewhere pretty. I don't know what you're trying to go for with your store, but have a photographer shoot for you. Make it really nice. Produce great content because people like to see that. They don't want to go to an Instagram site and see random pictures that, you know, it's gonna look so sketchy. It's not gonna look good. You want your site to look amazing. You don't want people to go to your site and be like, oh, what is going on here? I'm never gonna buy anything here. Like you want them to be like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I love all the clothes. Oh my gosh, I have to buy something. Yeah, you get one chance, you know, for people to come to your site and see what it's all about, especially when you first launch your store. You'll have so much hype. You wanna make sure that it's exactly how you want your store to be. You don't want it to, you know, be mediocre when you launch it. You want it to be perfect so that people will just be raving about it and that the rave won't end. And just going off that too, I would say not even just when you launch your store, but like obviously, because people obviously are gonna wanna see your store when you first launch it, but you want it to be amazing even after like months of it still going on. You wanna keep it spicy, you know, have parties for people and invite people, give them goodie bags, like use bloggers, have bloggers come and have them blog about your store. You know, you do not want the hype of your store to end. You have to keep it spicy. That's what I always tell myself. I'm like, keep it spicy. You don't want it to get boring. So I think even going along with marketing too, when you launch your store, I think it's super smart. I had like a launch party and that was awesome because I just invited like all my blogger friends, or even if you're not a blogger and you're just, you know, you just want to invite bloggers, like go ahead. If you tell them there's drinks and snacks and goodie bags, like they will be there. And so literally it's so easy. Just invite bloggers, you know, invite your friends and family, just get so much exposure, have a photographer there, have lots of content to post on your Instagram. It's so good. Yes, literally getting so hyped just talking about it. I'm like, yes, I love it. Oh my gosh. And the last thing I'm gonna say is so basic, but do not get discouraged. it can be so easy to get discouraged. I remember I got so many sales at first when I first launched because it was so spicy, you know, it was so new, got so many sales, I was freaking out. And then like a few months later, things died down and I was like, holy crap, I'm literally not getting that many sales. And it's so easy to just be so hard on yourself. Of course you got so many sales when you first started, but you have to remember, like, a store goes up and down. Like, it doesn't just stay like this. I mean, unless you're like perfect, like Nordstrom or something, you know, but like your store is gonna go like this, and don't freak out when it's on the down low. Just keep pushing and work hard. And you know, I think also remembering too that you may not break even for a while and you may be losing money, but I think it is really important. What we did with my store, if we weren't making money within a year, we said that we would just be done, you know, and I'm so happy that wasn't the case. But definitely, you know, you don't want to just keep putting money at something that like honestly isn't working. So you do have to be real with yourself to an extent, and it's hurtful, it's really hard, and you know, it sucks, it's embarrassing, but you gotta do what's best for you, and if something's not working, you just gotta cut it off. So yeah, definitely there's that. But you guys, I'm so excited for all of you who are thinking of starting your online store. It's so fun, you have such a fun journey ahead of you. Remember, stay spicy and don't get discouraged. And I don't know what else I even said in this video, but I hope something helped you guys and that maybe you're one step closer to figuring out what you want to do or even starting your online store. So I love you guys, and let me know if you have any additional questions. I hope this helped. And yeah, okay, bye.